Borders that were tightly closed due to COVID-19 are opening one by one. I can see that the number of foreign tourists is increasing again in Seoul little by little. When I travel, I often look for places where I can see the city at a glance. You who visit Seoul must be looking for such a place, right? And you will go to tourists' place like Namsan Seoul Tower or 63 Building. These places are, of course, good. But how about looking at Seoul from a place that locals casually visit, rather than from a tourist destination? I selected 12 places that I personally visited. It is accessible only by city bus, or occasionally a mix of places requiring a transfer to a taxi. All of them are not far from the city center, so if you plan to visit nearby, make sure to stop by to take in the scenery. We will start from the east of Seoul and finish to the west. So, shall we go together? First, Eungbongsan Octagonal Pavilion. The address is 1540 Geumho-dong 4-ga, Seongdong-gu. It is a place where you can see the whole area of Seoul Forest, Songsu Bridge, and even Bukchon-dong across the Han River in 3 dimensions. It is a place where you can feel the dynamics of Seoul, from the movement of trains on the Gyeongui Central Line to the movement of vehicles on the Gangneung Expressway. After getting off the bus, just walk a little. You can buy a drink from the convenience store and sit on the bench. It is especially recommended to visit in spring, when forsythia is in bloom. Second, it is the Changsin Quarry Observatory. The address is 51, Naksan 5-gil, Jongno-gu. If you want to enjoy a more private and modern sensibility, you can go to the Turta Cafe, next to the observatory. You can also take a walk in the nearby Naksan Park. It is a place where you can enjoy the old city center of Seoul and the Naksan Fortress Wall together. You can go by bus. Third, Sewoon Rooftop. The address is 159 Cheonggyecheon-ro, Jongno-gu. It is the most centrally located place among the places introduced today. Easily accessible by all means of transport. It is a place where an old residential commercial apartment was renewed, and from the rooftop space, you can see the cultural asset, Jungmyo, and the old city of Seoul at a glance. The scenery is especially nice at sunset. Fourth, Sowol-ro, Comfort Seoul. The address is 45, Duteopbawi-ro 60-gil, Yongsan-gu. It is a place that combines commercial facilities, exhibition halls, and cafes. If you visit, you will have to spend a little bit, right? You can see the old scenery and downtown scenery of Haeundae-dong at a glance. It fits perfectly with this modern space. If you don't want to spend money, you can take a walk from here to the Namsan Hyatt Hotel and see the same scenery. It is easily accessible by bus. Fifth, Bukchon Hanok Village. The address with a good view is 31 to 78 Gahoe-dong, Jongno-gu. Take a bus to the Seongdong police box and go up while looking around the neighborhood. You can feel the unique vibe of Seoul where the traditional Korean house with tiled roofs blends with the modern urban landscape. It's a residential area, so don't forget to be quiet. Sixth, introducing the Soop, Forest, Choso Bookstore. The address is 172 Inwangsan-ro, Jongno-gu. If you get off at the bus stop, it is a cafe located halfway up the mountain where you can reach it by walking for about 10 to 20 minutes. If you have difficulty walking, take a taxi. It's not far from the city center, so there's no charge. Don't take your car. The parking lot is narrow, so it will be very difficult. It is a place where you can enjoy the atmosphere of the mountain, the coziness of space, and the scenery of the city all at once. Seventh, it is the Namsan uphill road north of Namsan Tunnel No. 3. You have to get off at the nearby bus stop and walk to the address of the house. This is 29 Sogong-ro 4-gil, Jung-gu. From the alley right next to it, you can see the area around Namsan Tunnel 3 and the old city center at a glance. You can also use the nearby Namsan cable car. If it were me, I would rather walk on the Namsan Park Road than ride the cable car. Eighth, it is a cafe called The Piano, in Pyeongchang-dong. The address is 71, Pyeongchang 6-gil, Jongno-gu. You have to get off at the bus stop and climb a steep hill for about 15 minutes. You can also take a taxi, but it will be difficult to get a taxi when you come down the hill. It's a cafe carved out of a stone mountain, and it's a no-kids zone. Drinks are expensive, but it's well worth the cost of enjoying the unique scenery. Ninth, Ansan-jurak-gil, is also very cool. It is also a sunrise and sunset spot. It takes about 2 hours to walk the whole trail, and it is good to walk only part of the trail. There are several routes to the observatory or to the summit. If you want to walk the least and enjoy the great view, start from the address, San 2 to 37 Yongni-dong, and walk the northern trail. You can see various aspects of Seoul at a glance while walking for about 30 minutes. It is also known as a cherry blossom viewing spot in Seoul from early to mid-April. The 10th, Dongjak Sunset Cafe. The address is 316 to 3 Dongjak-dong, Dongjak-gu. There is also Dongjak Cloud Cafe right across the street. The address of this place is Banpo-dong 1333-1. It is a cafe on the bridge that can be easily reached by bus. At sunset, the scenery of Dongjak Sunset Cafe will be better. The 11th is a cafe called the Hangang. The address is 29-6 Noryangjeon-ro 32 Gil, Dongjak-gu. It is a place where you can see the Hangang Bridge, the Hangang Railroad Bridge, the entire Yongsan-gu area across the river, and the Seoul Tower at a glance. Take a walk to the nearby Nodal Island. You will be able to feel the multifaceted charm of Seoul. 12th, go up to Sangam Sky Park or Neul Park. The address of Sky Park is 481-72 Sangam-dong, Mapo-gu, and Neul Park is 478-1 Sangam-dong, Mapo-gu. You can easily get to the bottom of the hill by bus, and you can walk or use an electric cart for a fee to reach the top of the hill. It's fun to take a walk in the well-decorated park, and it's cool to look out over the open landscape of the Han River. I hope it will be a little help for your pleasant trip to Seoul.